Welcome back to the Williams Real Estate Channel. I'm your host, Geordie Williams, and today we are discussing one of my potential next moves, which is to sell one of my properties. So, I'll run through you the backstory of the property. This is the property as you see it on the screen as I purchased it, was my first purchase back in July, August 2017. This was the actual property when I purchased it. It was a little bit worse for wear. I gave it a bit of a spruce up, clean up, threw all the garbage away, renovated the um, bathroom, fixed up the kitchen, painted the house throughout and outside, fixed some gutters, spent about 30 grand. I purchased it for 240,000 back in August 17, and this is in Horseshoe Bend. So right next to Maitland in, I guess, more of the rougher side of Maitland, but gentrifying, up and coming. So I'll just show you on the map. Maitland. I also like Maitland because it is very landlocked. All this here is all floodplain, so even though there is a lot of land, but by the looks of from the, I guess if you look at the satellite, a lot of land, it actually is quite tight and landlocked because you can't actually develop on most of the land around Maitland. So Maitland's about 20 minutes north west of Newcastle, 2 hours north of Sydney, an hour north of the Central Coast. This was my first property I purchased back in mid 17. It has since done me well. I guess bit of a backstory of it. Initial plans when I first bought it was to flip. Bought the property, renovated it into this. So paint throughout, carpet, blinds, new bathroom. Just tidied up this part of the kitchen and went to sell it originally. But at the time, we went through the credit crunch in 2018, 2019, had a good slowdown in the market, probably the biggest slowdown really in the last probably 30, 40 years. The market peak to trough would have gone back probably 15, 20%. So it wasn't a great time to sell. So strategy changed. I then rented it out and then had the penny drop moment that I changed my strategy to a buy and hold strategy of buying investment properties, renting them out, collecting the rent, which the strategy has then grown since then to now the strategy is a buy and hold strategy, but then also built to rent on sites that I can develop. This site is only about 280 square meters. It is a corner block, but it doesn't have development potential currently due to the zoning and the size of the lot. So I can't add really any more value to this site other than maybe a new kitchen, and the front of the house is old fibro asbestos. So I could, which I'm getting quotes up now, to pull all this off the front two rooms. So the original house was timber hardwood, and at some point, probably in the 80s or 70s or 80s, the previous owners have tacked on new sunrooms. as you can see, timber weatherboard hardwood was the original home, and they at some point they would have added this extension. So I'm getting quotes now to pull all this off. It's about 90 bucks a square meter to remove and dispose of asbestos. It's not friable, so it's just bonded hard asbestos. Obviously, they'll have suited up and stuff, but pull it all off and then re-weatherboard the outside to then also gyprock inside, paint it up, tidy it up a little bit. So see how that quotes come back. I'm hoping less than, say, 50, 60 grand. Um, if I got a builder to do the whole thing, probably around 100, but I'm going to break it down into smaller packages and manage it myself just to um, save a few $1,000. Painting works in that. Knowing me, I can't help myself. I'll probably get um, sucked into it over the Christmas holidays because what I'm planning to do is to offload it and sell it because right now I can't really get any more uh, value in this site other than a little bit more of a renovation to spruce it up before I then sell it because typically markets go through a period of 8, 9, 10 years of stagnant, modest growth. This is Horseshoe Bend up in Maitland, so this is 20 years of sales history for houses. So, and then they go through an explosion of a good 4 or 5 years where they go up 100 to 150%. So that is what Maitland or and surrounding suburbs, Kurri um, Singleton, all these regional New South Wales towns have had a good, strong 5 years of explosion. So I am predicting, based off also the 18-year land cycle, that we're in 2024, but it is the equivalent market of 2004. So the next few years, so 4, 5, even really to from 2004 to 2014, it has had pretty modest average growth. So instead of, I guess, me holding this asset for a long period of, say, another 8, 9 years and not get a huge capital gain, I could sell it down, raise cash to then reinvest it into another market that is going to have better prospects in the next coming years. So moving and shaking. So I've also got to a stage now where I have max myself out in terms of serviceability. So I've got two options. I either just hold tight, wait a period of time, a couple of years until the rents rise, my income rises, then my serviceability will slowly grow. I'm looking to buy a block of units every year. So my new evolving strategy is to every year is to sell an asset, is to refinance an asset, and to buy a new asset, which will be a block of units. So buying a block of units every year. The only way I can do that is I need to raise cash. I'll do that by selling down assets, but also refinancing assets. I'll then free up serviceability by paying down debt. So run numbers for this property. I bought it in 2000 August 2017 for 240,000. 240,000. I could now potentially sell it. Let's have a look. So this is what's on the market. So a block of land, 250 grand, 235 grand. This is in Horseshoe Bend. So currently 450,000. This is for really a doer upper. So this is how I like to gauge. I look at what's on the market for sale. You like to sell in isolation, not when there's a whole lot of options. So I'll probably be looking to sell this coming into, I guess, April, May, June next year, but I'm in preparation for getting this ready to go to market. So getting quotes to do some renovations and get it a little bit tidied up. But say this is going for say that 450 mark. So I guess my one's better than this. Here's one for 670 to 730. So that probably is in a little bit better nick than mine, but more or less probably the same. The block size is bigger. So, and then 780 to 820. So this is similar block size, so same block size, but I would say in better condition. So I'd say probably around the 600 grand mark is realistic market value once I guess maybe do a bit of tidy up of the asbestos front and rip that off and clean it up a bit. So I'll run some numbers. Bought it for 240,000. I've since spent about 30,000 on it, which I've ridden off over the last 7 years. So claimed it over the last 7 years of owning it. So um, so that essentially that money has come back in terms of tax deductions over the last 7 years of or 8 years of owning it. So I won't take that into the equation, but say if we were to sell it now for 600, let's say, realistically, maybe a little bit more, but say conservative number 600, minus 600,000, 360,000 capital gain. So 360,000 capital gain. Because I've owned it for more than 12 months, you get a capital gain discount of 50%. So capital gains tax discount. So you divide it by 2. So I'll only get tax based off this value. So that value will get added to my taxable income. So I'll have to pay tax on 180,000. So that will be 45 cents in the dollar. So times 0.45 is about 81,000. I'll have to pay capital gains tax. So from the top, I will sell for 600 minus 81,000 capital gains tax minus the cost to sell. So, I mean, Charlie Lung, she sold it probably 2% of 600, so 600,000 times 0.02, 12 grand plus another, say, 3 grand legal, so 15 grand to sell, selling fees, so minus 15K. I'm a buyer's agent. I don't know how to sell stuff. I can buy stuff and I know how to understand when sales agents are pulling your leg, but when it comes to sprucing something up and pushing that sale product, pushing the sales campaign, potentially maybe run it to auction, see what they think. That is not my trade. So I'll be getting a sales agent in to help me. So we'll be down to 540. So less the loans outstanding. So I bought it for 240,000, but I currently owe about 330,000 on it because I've leveraged it up over the last few years. This one's done me pretty well, so I can't really recall, but probably at least 3 or 4 times to buy multiple other assets, a few other assets. So less the loan outstanding, 330,000. 174,000. Less say if I spend another say 30 grand 30 grand on getting it ready for market, so minus 30,000. So about 140. 140, 130, 140 grand once I've paid off the debt. So I can raise that. That's a healthy deposit for a block of units down in another region. So a block of 3 or a block of 4. So this is how I'm looking to now move forward and sell down an asset, free up that 330,000 worth of serviceability, raise cash to then get money together to then go and buy again, but in a larger asset, so a block of 3 or 4 units. And rather than hold this asset through another period of 7, 8, 9, 10 years of stagnant flat growth, I'd rather put it in a market that's about to go through a good bull run and move the money around and rinse and repeat. So that's how I'm looking to continue move forward. This is one of the options I'm running. I'm running this, I guess, same scenario with probably 3 or 4 different properties in my portfolio, looking which properties are, I guess, come to the point, the peak point of their growth cycle for now, and weighing up options. If I sell, what's my capital gains tax look like? What's the capital gain value? What's the cash? How much debt can I sell, pay down? What's my position best looking like for each individual asset? So it's looking like this first one is the property I have to let go. I mean, I'm all about investing, but even I've got a bit of a emotional connection to this property. It was the first one I bought, but I am trying to remove myself from those thoughts because ultimately it's a numbers game. It's a game. It's like playing a game of chess. You can't be emotional in property investing. It needs to be strictly numbers and logic and make sense. So it makes sense now to sell out of Maitland rather than hold it through a protracted, you know, even at least 4 years of it's going to be flat. It might have a little bit of growth next year, but flat. And then it's not until the second half of the cycle where people then decentralize out of the big metro markets, then that's when the regions start to boom. So the regions have had a good run, but I think the regions are in New South Wales and Victoria at the stages where they're probably going to experience the next few years of stagnant growth. And we're now sowing our seeds in Sydney and Melbourne in the metros to capitalize on their next growth cycle. So if this information uh, helps you or resonates with you, hit me up. Happy to run some scenarios with your own portfolio if you've already got some properties and you're looking to make your next move. And if you're stuck, and you're unsure what to do, happy to get you on a call. We can run some scenarios and see where we may be able to help you. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed that. Happy Friday.